Welcome to Global View. Join us on this multi-visual journey around the world.
Tonight I stand before you to share the incredible results. Jobs are booming, incomes are soaring, poverty is plummeting, crime is falling, confidence is surging, and our country is thriving and highly respected again. We are advancing with unbridled optimism and lifting our citizens of every race, color, religion, and creed very, very high. Since my election, we have created 7 million new jobs, 5 million more than government experts projected during the previous administration. The unemployment rate is the lowest in over half a century. And very incredibly, the average unemployment rate under my administration is lower than any administration in the history of our country. If we hadn't reversed the failed economic policies of the previous administration, the world would not now be witnessing this great economic success. The unemployment rate for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans has reached the lowest levels in history. African American youth unemployment has reached an all-time low. African American poverty has declined to the lowest rate ever recorded. The unemployment rate for women reached the lowest level in almost 70 years, and last year women filled 72% of all new jobs added. The unemployment rate for disabled Americans has reached an all-time low. Workers without a high school diploma have achieved the lowest unemployment rate recorded in U.S. history. A record number of young Americans are now employed. Under the last administration, more than 10 million people were added to the food stamp rolls. Under my administration, 7 million Americans have come off food stamps and 10 million people have been lifted off of welfare. In 8 years under the last administration, over 300,000 working-age people dropped out of the workforce. In just 3 years of my administration, 3.5 million people, working-age people, have joined the workforce. Since my election, the net worth of the bottom half of wage earners has increased by 47%, 3 times faster than the increase for the top 1%. A 16% pay increase since my election. This is a blue-collar boom.
A lot of it's because of lower interest rates, Mortgage rates are way down, about, I think, a full percentage point from the peaks. A lot of it is because the job numbers are strong and the income and wage numbers are strong. So people have pretty good affordability. The only issue there is, let's build more houses. I mean, people have said there's not enough inventory at the right middle-class price points. But yes, this is going to help us on the GDP number also.
You can build more houses if the president could do something about the regulatory environment.
Well, that's right. And by the way, we've been focusing precisely. The president's trying to deregulate permitting, as you know, building permitting, environmental permitting, and we've just encouraged those home builders to get moving. But the economics of it are good. Incomes and wages are up, interest rates are down, and you'll see it better in the fourth quarter, and I see you're going to see a carryover right into the first quarter of 2020.
Do you guys ever get worried when you see the stock market go straight up? I think we've got a market that could be characterized right now as a melt-up situation. Does that make you a little nervous?
Well, look, the economy is fundamentally sound. We're posting the best growth numbers in many, many years. The jobs numbers, the unemployment decline, the absence of any inflation. So I think a sound economy is the key. You were mentioning before about the outlook for taxes in a second Trump term. I mean, just let me make this point. I think that the market, and I think men and women in business, and I think men and women who have benefited from the low unemployment rate in all these cohorts and categories, women who now lead the labor force, Hispanics, African Americans, even millennials. Look, everyone is benefiting from the Trump boom. This is a middle-class, blue-collar type boom. What you don't want to do, and this would affect the stock market negatively, you don't want to change this. You don't want to change these pro-growth policies. The president has rebuilt the economy. He's reopened the economy in every... You don't want to change this. So what I'm hearing from the other side right now is not at all hospitable either to the stock market, to the economy, or to small businessmen and women. Sure. So listen, I think that's a very important point in this. Assuming that these things move forward, I still think the president's an overwhelming favorite to be reelected. I think people are going to be staggered. A lot of my friends who are pollsters may not see it right now, but take-home pay is soaring, and unemployment is falling, and employment and wages are rising. You're going to see new votes from a lot of different demographic sectors that we have not seen in the past. And one of my recent favorites, I love to talk about the millennials. Everybody tells me the millennials are all socialists. Well, you know what? When you're in your mid to late 20s and early 30s, which are millennials, okay, and you are working and you are developing a career, you certainly begin to understand what free enterprise is all about. Not socialism, but free enterprise. And I believe many of those young folks, they're great folks, they're embarking on the career. You and I should remember when we were in our mid-20s, you changed a lot of attitudes, and that includes voting attitudes. So I think socialism loses and Trumpian free enterprise wins. You wait and see. It's Kudlow forecast. He's going to do so much better with the young folks than people realize, and with some of the other demographic groups also.
100 years from now, what they're going to remember is not this false solemnity you saw yesterday in the United States Senate. What they're going to understand is that this is the beginning of the end of managed decline of the United States. Signing USMCA in China in 24 hours, historic. Somebody that brought the country together. Look at the vote in the Senate yesterday. It was 89-10 on USMCA. Trump has brought the country together on the economy, and all the mainstream media.
When you look at the constant coming up with more dirt and trying to find dirt on President Trump, I just think that the markets would not be at 29,000 if anybody really believed that there was anything there.
It's the signal and the noise. The signal is just, the noise is just what the Democrats are doing. The signal is Trump is USMCA and the China deal. He has completely restructured our trading patterns. He's made with USMCA North America and Mexico a geostrategic manufacturing alternative to East Asia. And in China, what he's done most significantly, besides proving tariffs work and proving that protectionism works, is he's put the Chinese on notice to the world. He's giving them a chance to live up to an agreement. Finally, after they stiffed us on the agreement they signed with President Obama in the Rose Garden, they lied about the Paris Accord. He's giving the Chinese Communist Party, he's giving them an opportunity to prove throughout the world that they can live up to this. And remember, in this deal, he is judge, jury, and executioner on the ability to snap back tariffs as he thinks that they're not performing. So I think this is very important, and this is where the markets, look, the stock market's up, the dollar's strong because the whole world wants in on the action that Donald Trump has created in this country and the economy.